Alright, so this video, I got some notes here. On this video is about, it's about standards and why it's important to have standards. Not only just for yourself, but for others around you. Whenever you don't have standards, you're teaching other people how to treat you, because they see how you treat yourself. So, like, what do I mean by standards? So it's very important for me to say standards and not necessarily preferences, because preferences, it's like, okay, you like this thing, but if you don't have it, it's not the end of the world. Preference, right? Standards are like, no matter what, this is what it's gonna be. So whether that may be like, hey, you're at the job and you notice so and so, maybe they don't work quite as hard as you, and maybe you are doing twice the work for like maybe the same amount of pay or maybe less pay. You're like, hey, what's going on here? You speak to the people in charge. Or maybe that be with like a friend or maybe your parents, where maybe they treat one sibling a little bit different than they treat you, and you know, you're talking to them about that. It's important to have standards, mostly because I think the most important standards are the ones you place upon yourself. Because when people see you living up to those standards you set for yourself, they kind of like respect you. It's like when I first started this year, I started going to the gym, and I started going like really consistent, maybe like 4 or 5 times a week. And when you first go to a gym, after a while, you know, people see you in there the first time, like, okay, this person's in here. When you start seeing the same people in the gym like every day, it's like it's unspoken, but like you can tell, like it's like a slight respect there, like a way, like somebody might look at you like a nod when you walk by, or you know, it's like they're like, they're in here, they're putting in work. I see them here all the time. I'm here all the time. This is somebody that's trying to change themselves for the better, and I respect that. Or you know, somebody who takes care of themselves, like have a put together appearance. You know, you always see them, their outfit's always on point. Maybe their hair is always done, maybe their face is always shaved, they're a man, or they always just look well put together, versus somebody who looks a bit sloppy. People can tell you don't care about yourself, you don't care about your own appearance. Why should we care about you? And it's unfortunate that people treat you that way, but people will treat you in the way that you allow them to treat you. And it goes about like having standards. Like if you're supposed to be somewhere with somebody at a certain time, you get there, they're not there, okay, you have to say something about it. You can't just be like, oh well, that's cool. Like somebody's late to a meeting, especially without a reason, and one time being late, that's cool. Like I'm not saying hit somebody over the head for a brick because they were late one time to something somewhere, like especially like a friend, right? If you've been friends for years, it's like, okay, you gotta allow for that. But when it comes to like stuff that's important, like for example, you're supposed to be at somebody's like wedding, or you're supposed to be somebody's baby shower on time, they're counting on you to do something important, you gotta pull through, you know, because if the tables turn, you want them to do it for you. And so I think that for me, I'm speaking about this like I haven't been the person that had problems with it. I definitely had problems with like holding myself to a certain standard, just in life in general. And you know, it kind of shows in where you are in life, because it's like, okay, what are you striving for? What are you trying to build? What are your goals? A lot of times people may not like see your goals like by you saying it if they don't know you, but like they see it through your actions. Like what are you always doing? Like what are you working on? In life, you have to like have a purpose to work towards. You have to have something to grow for. I feel like as humans, that's like the main thing that keeps us here, is like having a purpose. And I feel like subconsciously people see when you're holding yourself to standards. They're like, oh, that person, they're serious. Like I remember I had a manager at an old job. He'd always say, move with a sense of purpose. And it's just like, well, my dad said that as well. You know, it's like I used to walk around very slowly when I was a kid. My dad would be like, oh, you know, put some pep in your stuff, act like you got somewhere to be. And at the time as a kid, I was like, I'm just at the house, Dad. Like, let me, like, I'm just trying to play the Xbox. Let me let me breathe. But now that I'm a bit older, well, actually substantially older, but now that I'm like a grown man, it's like people are always watching you, and you may not even realize it. People are watching you, and they're watching you when you're not aware that they're watching you, whether that be like in real life, whether that be like in social media. People like, that person, they're always doing this. I like that about them. They seem to be a person that's very, very well to do. But when you don't have that for yourself, no one else can have it for you. So you may be like, I'm such a nice person, why are they treating me like this? You're letting them treat you like that. You're not holding them accountable. I'm not saying you gotta hold somebody accountable for their actions, because like I feel like that's been said 1,000 times by now. But you're not setting. So for example, like somebody does something that's like absolutely deal breaker for you. You have to, no matter what that person is, you gotta talk to them about it. And if they're blow you off about it, okay, then that has to be the end of that. You can't be like, well, they didn't mean it, this and that. Because when you do that, they're gonna walk all over you. So and so, I did this. Now I would never let that happen to me, but I did it to them. They didn't care. And so it's like you have no boundaries. I had like a friend, and if he sees this, I'm not talking bad about him. I have love for this guy. He was like a brother to me. I had a friend back in high school. This was when we were like younger, way younger. That was like, this girl would do him dirty. He always run right back to her. I'd be like, bro, don't you love yourself? Where's your self-respect? He didn't care at the time, because it was like, when you're like that place of like scarcity, where you feel like you love this person so much, or you care about this person so much, you feel like there is no other, and you put them above your own standards. You put them above your own personage. And you can't do that, because they're not going to be like, oh my gosh, so-and-so is such a nice person that let me do this. They're going to be like, oh, so-and-so is a sucker. It's like episode of SpongeBob, sure does my heart good to con a couple of A-class suckeroonies like those two guys. Like, that's what happens, because people are humans. Humans are animals. We're all animals, really. And there's like, if somebody can get over on you, a lot of times they will. Even if they're a quote-unquote like good person, you can't let it happen. You can't let it slide. Something like that happens, you gotta say something about it. You gotta hold yourself to standard, so other people will hold other people around you. When they see that, they'll be like, okay, I can't move like this around them. Everybody knows someone like that. Like, whether that be somebody's mom or somebody's aunt or somebody's dad, it's like, this person does not play this. Instinctively, you didn't even have to ask them if they played that to know. You can just tell by looking at them and be like, oh yeah, they're not going for that. You try that over here, it's gonna be some straightening going on, okay? So stand up for yourself. And if you don't feel like you're worth it, you are worth it. You woke up this morning and you're watching this video now. You're worth it. Yeah, guys. Don't stray from your standards. And if you don't have any standards, get some. You gotta live for something. Good grief. Well, alright, y'all. See y'all in the next one.